Rush Duel is a fast-paced spin-off game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you can summon as many monsters as you want and draw up to 5 cards each turn. In this series, me and the TheDrAlex progress through each Rush Duel product release and build decks with whatever cards were available at that time. We have been drafting characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's anime and have exclusive access to those characters' boss monsters, and will continue to draft characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush series. Join us as we continue to battle it out in this series, Rush Duel Character Draft. Double Star of the Assault was released January 21st, 2023 and has a strong focus on fusion monsters, with new cat fusions, pyro fusions, dragon fusions, and a new fusion archetype, SKYSAVIORS. This set introduces 2 new anime characters. Alex will be taking the Great King of Terror, the Lug, who introduces TheDrAlex, a 2500 attack, normal dragon monster, and the material needed to make the TheDrAlex Star, a 3300 attack, high dragon, that if you control 2 or more normal monsters with the same name in your graveyard, lets you send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard for its multi-choice effect. Either 2 monsters with the same name on your field get to attack twice, or special summon 2 normal monsters with the same name from your graveyard. He also introduces Double Ray Dragons, a 2800 attack high dragon that if you only have dragon and high dragons engraved, can pay 500 life points for its multi-choice effect. Either 1 face-up normal monster can attack twice, or set 1 fusion from your graveyard. Because Alex has Manabu, he gets Alchemicalized Salamandra, a 3000 attack pyro monster that during the main phase it was summoned can destroy all spell and trap cards and weaken opponent's monsters by 1000 per card destroyed. He also gets Melel, the beautiful flame spirit of the lamp, a 2800 attack pyro monster that can draw 1 card and show it. If it's a pyro monster, you can special summon a level 8 or lower pyro from the graveyard. And Chromatographicus, a level 7 2500 attack pyro normal monster. Since Alex has Rovian, he gets Markvio, the ultimate Aria, a 2400 attack psychic monster that has the continuous effect to gain attack equal to the number of equipped cards equipped to it and the number of normal monsters on your opponent's field, times 500. Since Alex has Weejo, he gets Voidvelger Protostar, a 2400 attack Dark Galaxy monster that can add a level 4 or lower Galaxy monster from grave to hand, and if you have Dark Hole in your graveyard, special summon a level 8 monster from the graveyard. Alex will also be taking the unaffiliated Guilford package from this set, none of which can be special summoned. Guilford the Legend is a 2600 attack warrior monster that during the turn it's summoned can equip up to 3 equip spells from your grave to warriors you control. Guilford Rising is a 2500 attack warrior monster that during the turn it was summoned can shuffle 2 warriors from grave to deck and make up to 3 attacks on monsters. Finally, Guilford the Lightning is a new legend monster, 2800 attack, and can be tribute summoned using 3 monsters to destroy all monsters your opponent controls. I will be taking Neanderstar, who introduces Dark Eyes Breakstar Cat, a 2200 attack beast that can send the top 2 cards of the deck to grave to inflict piercing damage, and if done on the turn it was summoned, can destroy 1 face-up level 7 or 8 monster. She also brings Catclaw Girl, a 2200 attack warrior monster that can place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of the deck to special summon a beast type monster with 200 defense from your graveyard, and if you summon a normal monster, you can set fusion from the grave. Catclaw Girl is a material for 2 new fusion monsters. Starcat Strania is a 2900 attack beast warrior that can send a card from field to grave to weaken a monster by 2200 attack, and if you sent a normal monster with 200 defense, you can destroy 1 spell trap. And Starcat Destroynia is a 2900 attack beast warrior that can shuffle 2 monsters with 200 defense from grave to deck to special summon 2 monsters with 200 defense and the same level from grave, and if you special summon normal monsters, those special summon monsters gain 2200 attack. Since I have Yuhi, I get Jointech Templatesaurus, a 2300 attack machine that can discard 1 card to change an attack position monster to defense and lower its defense by 2000. I will be taking the new SkySavior archetype, which is based around fusing warriors and fairies into celestial warriors. Solcier the SkySavior Lightflash is a 2200 attack celestial warrior that can place 1 card from your field to the bottom of your deck for its multi-choice effect. Either destroy 1 spell trap for every celestial warrior you control, or add SkySavior symbol from grave to hand. Altiera the SkySavior Transience is a 2600 attack celestial warrior that has the continuous effect to stop your opponent from activating normal spell cards, except fusion. Digrace, the Skysavior Radiance, is a 2700 attack Celestial Warrior that can mill 1 for its multi-choice effect to either gain 1000 attack for each Celestial Warrior you control, or make 2 attacks on monsters. Druckmore, the Skysavior Phantom, is a 2900 attack Celestial Warrior that has the continuous effect that face-up cards on your field cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Finally, I will be taking Transami Road Rhynak, since due to our rules, only I can legally summon it, since only I have access to Seven's Road Magician. Transami Road Rhynak is a 2900 attack Galaxy monster that can mill 1 to special summon 1 Galaxy type normal monster from grave and make all Galaxy monsters you control gain attack equal to the number of different attributes in both players' graveyards, times 300. So this is the deck we're bringing to today's game. This is SKYSAVIORS. Now, SKYSAVIORS is a really interesting fusion archetype built around fusing warriors and fairies into celestial warriors. And it's meant to be kind of a more consistent engine because it has a lot of ways to let you draw cards, to find a fusion from your deck, to add, just kind of to facilitate the fusion summons as easily as possible. So we're actually going to start with the extra deck for going through this deck because it kind of is the boss monsters of the archetype. So we're on 3 copies of Druckmore, the Skysavior Phantoms. This is made using Dunkus and Lure, and it has a continuous effect that face-up cards in your field cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So this is fantastic for blanking things like Mirror Force, like Torrential Tribute, like Dark Hole, the new Legend card Guild for the Legend, just anything that can destroy our cards, completely protected. So really, really strong first monster. The next one is also using Dunkus, but this time using Soliel, the Skysavior Angel. So this is a multi-choice effect. We can gain attack equal to the number of Celestial Warrior monsters in our field times 1000, or this card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters. This is more of a standard fusion monster, but still very, very powerful and kind of the finisher of the deck, I guess. Next up, we have a fusion between Celia, the Skysavior Knight, and Lure, the Skysavior Angel, in Alteria, the Skysavior Transients. So this is another continuous effect. So this is a running theme where anything that is fused using Lure, the Skysavior Angel, are these blue kind of floodgatey continuous effect monsters. So this one is your opponent cannot activate normal spell cards except fusion. So if Alex is on a deck that isn't a fusion deck, this could really, really trip him up and really hurt him. The downside of this card is it's only got 2600 attack, but 26 is still pretty decent. So the last Skysavior fusion we're on is Solcier, the Skysavior Light Flash. So this is made using Celia and Soliel. We can place 1 card from our field to the bottom of its owner's deck, so that's a bit tricky because that does mean losing a monster potentially or a spell trap. We have to get it onto the field before we can get rid of it, but it's kind of here nor there. But we can destroy spell trap cards on the opponent's field up to the number of face-up Celestial Warrior type monsters on our field, or add Skysavior symbol from our graveyard to our hand. So this is probably the weakest of these cards, but it does have a pretty big butt in 2800, and the ability to pop spell traps can be relevant, especially if we can get 2 of our fusion monsters out and we can start getting rid of multiples. So the other fusions we're on is Tomatosaurs, the Rising Luna, just a really, really powerful card. We can recycle our 0 attack monsters and destroy up to 2 defense position monsters on the field. So if we're able to get out Kime Luna, use its effect, change monsters to defense, then use Kime-Terasu's effect to blow them up. Very, very powerful combo. And then Yami-Terasu, the Divine Delayer. This card is a very, very oppressive floodgate card. If we manage to get it out, it's a 3000 attacker that its first effect is completely bonkers. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, while this card is face up, it gains 500 attack. Neither player can special summon level 9 or lower monsters in face up attack position. So because of how much attack this monster has, it's really tricky to beat it without special summoning, because one of the best ways to get rid of this card is going to be another fusion. And then combine that with Druckmore to give it destruction protection, and it becomes a real problem for Alex to deal with. So look at the main deck. We're on 3 of our Needlecree, the Celestial Seamstress. This goes into 2 of our fusions. We're on the 3 copies of Yami Ruler, the Dark Delayer. Again, we want to be getting out our Celestial Warriors, so we need as many of the fusion materials as we can get. And this is a really good statted monster that can also stop our opponent from tribute summoning. We're on 3 copies of Yami-Terasu, the Dark Delayer Supreme Soldier Spear. This is fantastic because it protects our monsters from trap cards, and specifically our Celestial Warriors and Warriors. So it protects all of our fusions and all of our big warrior monsters from anything like Mirror Force or Torrential Tribute. So just fantastically powerful card. We're only on the 1 copy of Kime Luna. This is because we didn't want too many big boss monster bricks in the deck, but again, really, really strong card. Then for the main deck, SKYSAVIORS. So this is Dunkus, the Skysavior Knight. So we can reveal it to 5 Celestial Warrior type monsters with different names in our extra deck. That's why we're on specifically 5 different ones. This card gains attack equal to the number of monsters revealed times 200 to the end of his turn, but he cannot attack directly, and he can only attack with Celestial Warriors, Warriors, and Fairies. So he goes up to 23, which is not a huge number, but this effect could still be relevant, and he is very important because he is half of a lot of our fusions. The other one is Celia, the Sky Savior Knight. So the fusion monsters this one goes into are a little bit weaker, but this card, in my opinion, is a lot better than Dunkus, because, again, we reveal up to 5 Celestial Warriors with different names in our extra deck. One face-up monster on opponent's field, though, loses attack equal to the number times 200. So that means we can weaken one of Alex's monsters by 1,000 attack, which can be really, really important. That's really important to deal with maximums. That's really important to deal with Alex's big fusion monsters, or any just kind of big bosses that he gets out. Just being able to weaken a monster is very, very powerful in Rush. Then we're on 2 copies of TheDrAlex. So this card lets us recycle fusion, and there aren't that many cards that let you recycle fusion, and this deck wants to be fusing a lot, and it doesn't have very many ways to get access to it outside of something that maybe Star Restart, but then that requires us to use normal monsters, and we're only on the one normal monster, so we didn't really want to include that. But this card also has decent stats and 1300 attack that might be relevant. So next up, we have Ser, the Sky Savior Knight. So during the turn you normal summon this card, reveal a Sky Savior Prayer or Fusion in your hand to draw 1 card. This might come up. We probably will have Fusion in our hand quite a lot. And Sky Savior Prayer is a powerful card. We're not on 3 copies though, because it might be a bit bricky. But being able to draw the extra card might be relevant. Then we're on Ranga, the Sky Savior Knight. So during the turn you normal summon this card, reveal a Sky Savior Prayer or Fusion in your hand. So the same requirement as Ser. To special summon a Soliel, the Sky Savior Angel, or lure the Sky Savior Angel from your graveyard face up to your field. So that's basically half of the fusion. So we kind of want our board to probably be completely empty when we summon this card, if we want to facilitate a fusion, because if we summon him and summon the Angel, if we have a 3rd monster already in play, that means we now are kind of bricking up unless the other card is the other half of the fusion. But we could also use this to bring back one of the fairies to tribute for Yami Rulers or Kime Luna, because it effectively is 1 card gets 2 monsters onto the field, so can be really good in that kind of situation. Next up, we're on 2 Valkyrian Cut Pastry. So if you have no other monsters in your field, place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck, special summon 1 fairy type monster with 0 attack from your graveyard face up to your field. So basically, it's doing a similar thing to what Ranga wants to do, except we don't have to have a specific card in our hand to use it, but now our field has to be empty, which is also kind of what Ranga wants anyway, so it's fine. I would say this card is more consistent, but is less impactful if the effect goes off. So we went for consistency here, which is why we've gone for this card. So now for the fairies themselves. So we have Soliel and Lure. So both these cards have the same initial effect, which is reveal a warrior type monster from your hand as the requirement. And then when they do, their name becomes the other one. So Soliel becomes Lure and Lure becomes Soliel. So Soliel lets us excavate the top 4 cards of a deck, take 1 excavated fusion card to your hand, place the remaining in the bottom of your deck in any order. And Lure lets you mill the top 3 cards, and then if fusion was one of the cards you milled, add it to your hand. So both these cards basically just want to dig for fusion as quickly as possible, and they are each different materials for different fusions that we have available to us, but they can change their name to become the other one, which gives you even more versatility in choosing which fusion you want to go into. Sky Savior Prayer is a really powerful card, so 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, special summon a light or dark attribute Celestial Warrior type monster from your graveyard face up to your field. So this is really important for bringing back our fusion monsters, and this can be really, really important for getting out 3 big powerful monsters, because we can get out 2 monsters typically, like tribute summon 1, maybe fusion summon another, but then that one last slot kind of sucks. There's not a lot we can really do with it, but using this we can just special summon into that slot and bam, 3 giant monsters, which if you get something like Drakmor as well, which can give them more protection, is just insane, and that will make a really hard board for our opponent to break. Next up, Sky Savior Witnesses. So reveal 2 warrior and or fairy type monsters from your hand, and that's every card in our deck except for our TheDrAlex. Then we can excavate the top 5 cards of our deck, add 1 excavated card to your hand, place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. This turn, your level 8 or lower monsters cannot attack, but your opponent takes no effect damage. So this is just, again, a consistency card. It can stop us from attacking, because it will stop our level 8 monsters from attacking, which kind of sucks, but it can be worth it to get into our combo pieces to get our fusions going and try and win the game through that. 3 copies of Fusion, 1 copy of Monster Reborn, because we are on a fusion-based deck, and Monster Reborn is always going to be fantastic in those types of decks. 2 copies of Trade-In, because we have a lot of level 8s and we don't want to brick on them, so just extra consistency. We're on the Sky Savior symbol. This card might come up. We're playing the 1 copy because we might want to bring it back using Saucier, but for the most part, it's just a combat boost. It increases attack by its level times 100, so on a fusion that'll be 900, on one of our regular warriors that's just going to be 800, but it could be enough. It's a decent chunk. And then the Torrential Tribute to round out the main deck. So in the side deck, we're on the Kime Luna in case we feel like we need more level 8s if we're not seeing enough. We are on 2 copies of Mizame. This lets us recycle our warrior monsters. 2 copies of Ruler's Slash. This could be really good for getting a big boost if we feel like we need it, and to pop back row. We are on 2 Ghost Cyclone, again if we feel like we need to pop back row. The new card, Rising Lunar Radiant Luster. This can be really important if Alex has something that we just cannot out with our main deck, so we just bring this in and just an instant pop. The 3rd copy of Prayer if we feel we need it. The 3rd copy of Witness in case we feel we need it. The Star Restart, again, consistency cards. If we feel like we're bricking, we want to basically swap up the ratios as much as we can. And then we're on 3 copies of Crisis at the Sacred Tower in case Alex has threats we need to respond to immediately during his turn. So that's the deck. We're feeling reasonably confident in it. This seems like it might be a very powerful deck. We'll have to go in, though, and see what Alex has got for us. So let's fire on in. So last week, we actually had a similar strategy, I guess. We both just kind of chose a new fusion monster and went, I'm going to slap that into an already existing really good deck. And we didn't end up having that many of the new cards in our decks. Like, I think you had 1 new main deck monster, maybe 2, and a new fusion card. If I recall correctly. And then my deck had the 1 like new card being the new fusion monster Transamirid Rhynak, as well as the equip spell that I was playing in the side deck. Because I don't know about you, but the idea of having an equip spell that gets more powerful for every other equip spell, like it's tricky, especially in a deck like Spellcasters, which do have the 2 equip spells. But you can only use them on Seven's Road Magician. So it's like, well, I have to make sure I definitely get Seven's Road. I definitely get both of these equips. And then, like, you could use some of the more generic equip cards. Like, there's the one which increases the level and the attack and defense. I don't know. It just feels a little bit high roll, right? It's like, oh, I've got to make sure I see all of these really powerful equip cards all at the same time on this one specific monster. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's a tough one, that.
Yeah, whereas your equip spell, I believe, was a very small amount of attack and defense. I think it was like 200 attack and defense, but it gave it... Did it give it piercing and protection from traps?
Yeah, just all the eggs in one basket,
Yeah.
which was nice.
It's quite nice to just slap that on something that's already big, although I don't think you managed to get it onto anything big during that game, which was a little bit unfortunate. You started finding all of your little weenies at the same time as the equip spell, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
But because we both went in with quite a similar strategy, we didn't actually see a lot of the brand new cards, which means over the next couple of weeks, I assume we'll be bringing decks that probably have a few more of the brand new cards, and we'll get to show off some of those. But
yeah,
shall we fire on in and see what we're both on?
Let's go.
Oh, that's the wrong button. There we go. Let's go with this. Ooh. Ooh. Hey. Alright, now do I want to go first or second with this deck? I think this deck wants to go first. Okay, this is not... We have options here. Alright, we'll start with this. So I'm going to activate SKYSAVIOR Witnesses.
Okay.
So, with this card I can reveal 2 warrior and or fairy type monsters from my hand, and then I can excavate the top 5 cards of my deck, add 1 excavated card to my hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom of my deck, but this turn my 8 or lower monsters cannot attack, and you take no effect damage. Now obviously not being able to attack doesn't matter because it's turn 1. But the 2 cards I'm going to reveal, one of them you should be quite familiar with.
Oh boy, Yummy Ruler.
Well, this is a Celestial Warrior Fusion deck, and who is the primary Celestial Warrior Fusion. This... Ooh, what do we pick here? So I have a couple of options available to me right now. I think we're going to go with the safer option. And grab... Yeah, right, we're going to grab Soliel, the SKYSAVIOR Angel. Now I can choose the order these go to the bottom of my deck. It doesn't matter too much. Next up, we're going to summon our SKYSAVIOR Angel, fire off its effect. So now I can reveal a card from my hand, and then excavate the top 4, and if I find a fusion, I can add it to my hand, and also this card's name changes. Once again, I get to choose the order of these cards. Again, it's not going to make too much difference. Alright, next up, we will normal summon Ser, the SKYSAVIOR Knight. So I do not have a SKYSAVIOR Prayer or Fusion in my hand, but if I did, I could reveal it to draw a card. So we're going to tribute 2 and summon out Yami Ruler. fire off its effect, because 2500 defense makes no difference. It's the same as this attack. We'll set 2 cards in the back row and pass back to you.
Well, let's set. Set 3, because I can't.
Right.
Tribute summon.
No tribute summoning. I'll get to stall until I get what I want. Alright, we'll fire off trade-in, because we do play a lot of 8s. So we'll draw 2 cards. Now the question is, do these accomplish anything? Ugh. We have a couple plays. Alright, we're going to normal summon Celia, the Sky Savior Knight. Its effect isn't particularly important right now, actually, only face-up monsters, but I could weaken one of your monsters by up to 1,000 if I reveal 5 different Celestial Warriors from my extra deck. Then we will summon out Lure the Sky Savior Angel, who again I could use her effect to dig for fusion, but then her name would change, and I kind of want her to stay as Lure. So we're going to activate fusion. I'll combine my 2 monsters together and create Altiera the Sky Savior Transience. So this card has a continuous effect. Your opponent cannot activate normal spell cards except for fusion. So if you're on a fusion deck,
Interesting.
I assume this isn't going to do too much. Like, it will stop like Dark Hole, it will stop like a lot of the legend cards, but a lot of the time it's going to stop things like Star Restart maybe. But if you're not on a fusion deck, this will probably be doing quite a lot to hinder you. So I'll change this back to attack. I will then set 2 more cards to the back row. Then I think we're just going to go straight to battle, and we'll see what you're on. I'm expecting dragons. Oh, okay, so this is going to be a fusion deck. Oh no, this isn't going to be a fusion. Oh, you don't even have an extra deck. I didn't even pay attention to that. Oh, Sakuretsu Armor. That's a pretty big one. Pass the turn. Oh, that's a...
Okay.
It's not a Mirror Force, but it does mean you're probably on the rest of the Sakuretsu support. If I recall, the Sakuretsu traps reduce attack, but if you have Sakuretsu in the graveyard, they become Mirror Force? Something similar? Or they become Sakuretsu?
Become partial Mirror Force.
Okay.
I'm going to reveal mine a mix of baseball and Guildford.
Okay. I was expecting some Guildfordies. So during the turn, shuffle 2 warriors at monsters from the graveyard into the deck. This turn make up to 3 attacks on monsters. So the effect is redundant. It comes down to, do you just want to put stuff back in the deck or not?
To activate Sky Savior symbol.
Hey, that's one of my cards.
And 5 types of assistance.
Okay, so they can't be destroyed by trap cards. Or is it they can't be affected? No, they just can't be destroyed. Okay. Well, there goes my poor Yami Ruler. And we'll take the 15 to the dome. Alright. Now, what is the plan? Alright, I need a way to get rid of your 3300 attack guy. That should be priority number 1. In my hand currently, I do not have a way to do so. So, how do we get to taking your guy down? I guess step 1 is to activate trade-in. Get rid of this to draw 2. That did not make my hand any better. And 33 is just really big. How do I go about dismantling it? I don't think I'm going to be able to destroy it with a card effect. And I don't think I have the means to get above 33 right now. I mean, I can do this, but this doesn't help. I could use this and see if we can high roll. Oh, I can actually use this. That's probably... That's just enough to do it. Okay. But are we going to high roll as well? I think we try for it. Alright, normal summon, Lure. Activate her effect. So I can reveal 1 warrior type, so I'll reveal Celia. Unfortunately, we have just dumped a Torrential Tribute into the graveyard, but, you know, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. Next up, we'll summon the Celia, and we'll fire off its effect, which will let me reveal 5 different Celestial Warriors from my extra deck, and in exchange, I can weaken your monster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I don't really want a lot of these cards. I guess we'll get rid of this one. I will tribute 2 monsters and summon out the Great Yami Ruler, the TheDrAlex Supreme Soldier Spear, who unfortunately his effect isn't going to do much right at this moment in time. Am I locked into anything right now? I don't think so. I can only attack with Celestial Warriors, Warriors, and Fairies. I think that's all I'm locked into right now. So I will normal summon Ranga. So during the turn you normal summon this card, I can reveal Sky Savior Prayer or Fusion, special summon a Soliel or Lure from the graveyard. Obviously I don't have room to do so. I'm then going to tribute 2 and summon out Yami Ruler, not use the effects. I want to try and clear your board. So we will attack over Guildford. And then attack over Zubaba. And then pass back.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm not sure about this deck. Like, it definitely seems like it's got legs and it's pretty strong, but I feel like I have a lot of thinking to do. Oh, is this the brick? Ooh, that's a rough one. How much damage have I got? 5,000. So the other thing is, I know you have those Sakuretsu traps, and like I said, I don't remember the exact wording on them, which means playing around it is difficult. Well, if I wanted to try and game you, I'd need 1800 attack, which is not easily doable. I think the play is going to be normal summon out Astrobio Drake, who is one of the few ways that you can actually just recycle fusion without having to give up anything. Then we're just going to get a battle, and I have locked myself. I forgot about Astrobio Drake's negative effect.
Can only attack directly with fusion. Whoops.
Listen, right, I don't usually play with dragons. That's your kind of department, you know?
Oh, neat. I just got fucking saved here. Draw that.
Okay.
Do second. Should
Into
be
home
for the
plate.
big home plate. We'll activate this and equip it turn just in case.
Okay. Yeah, you've got to be on a lot of equip spells with the Guildford stuff, really, haven't you?
And we'll shuffle in. You, and you.
I've just realised as well that I had Soldier Spear, so even if you had the trap cards to destroy me, they wouldn't have worked. I'm just a dumbass.
Let's get rid of Soldier's bit.
Yeah, that's definitely the play. Okay, so he's down to 27. Because he only gets the boost during your turn. He is now level 10, which means a lot of card effects might work on him.
It's a cool looking Drake. Just to pause there.
Yeah, he is pretty sick. How much do we think your back row is just fluff? I have a couple of plays available to me. I know one of them you really won't like. I think this is our best play. I'm not happy about it. Normal summon Valkyrian, sorry, not Valkyrian Sokri, it's Needlecurry, the Celestial Seamstress now. Flip over the fusion. Make everyone's most boring Floodgate Boy. Then normal summon out Dunkus, the Sky Savior Knight. He has a similar effect, except he boosts his own attack instead of weakening your monsters. But then he can't attack directly when he does it. I'll then tribute 2 and summon out my Yami Ruler to give us the protection from traps once again. Then how deep do we go? How much damage is this? 35, so that'd be 8. 33, which would leave you on 3,000. I don't think I could do 3,000 damage to you if I wanted to. So I will set and just go. Oh no, we've got to make sure we do the bullshit effect. Go to battle, attack, and then attack, and then we pass.
Okay.
It's the scary thing is you could just drop like your legend card, which I assume is going to be. Well, I suppose your legend is probably Guildford the Lightning. and you're probably also on Guildford the Legend, which probably also gets you out of this.
What do you get me out of this?
You could take back the Sky Savior equip spell. How much attack would that give him? 8?
At least a level 8 or lower. Winged Beast. Ooh.
On top of the deck, so you will be drawing it next turn.
Yeah.
Just be very careful with that. You could just brick.
Yeah, I could. Go to the second on top. Let's try that.
My monster report.
Ooh.
I want that.
I'll put Guildford on top. Yeah. Guildford the Legend activates effect.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Wait, why couldn't you?
It's asking me to do it individually.
Oh, right, that's fine then.
Yeah, it didn't let me select all the... Not all the 2 cards at the same time.
I guess it's because it's up to 3. I don't know. It should still probably let you pick all 3 at once, but yeah, not going to split hairs. There goes my boy.
Alrighty.
Alright, well, it's now or never. Do we have a way to game you? I think so. Okay, so if I do this, that limits me as to what I can do. So I want to avoid using this if I can. This card does that into that, and then I think that's just straight game. Does this limit me? No, it doesn't. Alright, so we will activate Sky Savior Prayer. So we can discard a card and bring back Captain Asshole.
Oh, man.
Yep. And then, just like you, we have...
Captain Asshole. Got a whole bunch of support they didn't need.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things, right, where I don't think the Sky Saviors needed to be Celestial Warriors. Like, I get why they are, because it's the fusions of fairies and warriors, but... yeah, Yamiterasu, I think, is not a particularly versed card in tournament play because he's a bit clunky. But now that he's got a lot more support, I think you'll probably be seeing him a little bit more. Well, I don't know if he's going to like rise to top tier or something, but I wouldn't be surprised if this card just gets more play now. Just because the Sky Savior stuff seems consistent enough.
Yeah, totally. I'll go second.
This hand is not super fantastic. Let's see if we can fix that. With the power of Sky Savior Witnesses. So we'll reveal 2 cards. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. I think I'd really like to play risky and take a fusion or a trade in, but I think it's got to be the Drake, just so because I need a summonable monster. These can all go to the bottom in any order, I don't really care. Then we will set, tribute set. Could be anything. Definitely not what I revealed, especially when I set my 2 back row, so you have complete perfect knowledge of what I have. Pass back.
Okay. Set.
Okay, so we've emptied the hand. Now I have a 0 attack monster on my field. So it's not going to be doing much right here. I think it's going to be set, and then just pass back.
Ooh.
It's the problem with playing a fusion-based deck. A lot of my cards have really low attack points.
Yeah.
Oh, that will exactly out a big bungus defense monster as well.
Unfortunately, I don't have a...
Oof.
Best I can do is flip this boy over. Get this boy out as well.
Well, I suppose I can flip summon this either way. We'll fire off its effect. We can change the battle positions of these monsters. Change the battle position of this to defense. Then what? What is the next step of the master plan? I don't need to play a monster because I'm only going to be drawing one card as is. So is there value to throwing a monster onto the board, I suppose? Yes, I'll put this in defense and pass back.
Alright. An interesting move.
Well, you know, Kimi Luna being face up has some merits for me.
Indeed. Attribute 2. Okay, I'll go for the legend.
Can we just say as well, he is a new, like, best 2 tribute attack monster that isn't a legend, right? I think he's the first non-legend level 8 main deck monster that has more than 2,500 attack.
Yeah, I think so.
So he's quite an important card.
But a neat effect as well.
Mm.
Activate the 5 types of assistance, just in case you got something in the back there.
Mm.
Set this. Set this. BOR.
Not my Kimi Luna.
And this one.
Valkyrian. Sorry. Needle Curry. The Celestial Seamstress. Okay, what are we doing? It's tricky. I don't really want to lose a shit ton of life points from effectively gambling. This would have been nice to keep in my hand, I suppose. I think the play might just be set to pass, you know?
Okay.
I mean, you don't have a way to get to my life points yet, so we might be okay.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I can tribute these guys for Captain 39.
Big bungo man. And his dual-wielding baseball bat.
There's a risk, but Gagaga outfielder.
Okay. There's my Valkyrian cut pastry. And Mezame, the ringing alarm. Who just lets me recycle 2,500 attack monsters from the grave.
Yeah. I was looking at Warrior Sport last night and thought about running him. And I thought, no, I can't squeeze him into this.
Okay. I really only have one move. So, we normal summon Lure the Sky Savior Angel. Activate the effect and reveal my Yami Ruler. We can add fusion back to our hand. So now, what has that opened for us? So this card's name has now changed and has now become Soleil, which means the monster I can fuse has now changed as well into this. So I could do that. Do. The problem is you have 3 back row, and the fusion monster I can make does not have any kind of protection against you. Which is problematic, as I'm sure you're aware.
Indeed.
You also know that I have access to a monster that does give protection, but unfortunately I cannot.
And you do both.
I cannot.
Yeah.
Wait, can I? I might be able to. Oh, it's so risky. It depends what your back row is. I mean, we got to high roll it, right? You don't not high roll it. So we will normal summon out my Dunkus the Sky Savior Knight. Then we will activate fusion, combining our 2 monsters together into TheDrAlex, the Sky Savior Radiance. So multi-choice effect, I can gain attack equal to the number of face-up / warrior monsters on the field times 1,000 until the end of the turn, or can attack 2 monsters.
Okay.
So I'm then going to set. Then we're going to tribute both to summon out Yami Ruler.
Interesting.
And then use Sky Savior Prayer. Bring it back.
Monster Reborn.
Yes. Then I suppose we will activate Symbol. Give it another extra boost. And then we will gain multiple attacks. Go to battle phase. We will attempt to get rid of these.
Activate Ruler's Deadly
Oh,
Jewel.
that destroys a spell trap, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Where are we right now? So I think I have to get rid of this. Otherwise, I just die anyway.
Unfortunately, Sakaretsu Force lowers your attack.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, there was no way I was playing through that then. Like, you had just too much good back row, especially non-destruction back row. Am I dead is the question. So you have 55, 60, 71? If my maths is correct.
Maybe? How do I count?
Alright, 26 plus 29 is 55. Plus 1 is 65, plus 6 is 71. So yeah, you're 100 shy at the moment.
I don't think I can make that any higher. Not with these creatures.
No equip spell in the back row or something?
No, unfortunately not.
Well, you can put me down to 100, and then I have no cards on board, so I need to draw an out in the top 5. And that's assuming your back row is also not going to completely mess with me anyway. Alright, 100 life points in a dream. Here we go.
Dark Hole.
This is where things get tricky, because now I can't leave a monster in attack mode under fear of death. So we'll start out by normal summoning Celia. We'll fire Celia's effect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We will weaken. This actually is quite important. I think it has to be this one. With a normal summon Dunkus. Tribute 2 and summon out Yami Ruler, the TheDrAlex Supreme Soldier Spear. Activate Monster Reborn. Bring back the boy. Activate his effect to gain attack this time to play around any shenanigans. Set. Go to battle. Attack over this. Because now I cannot be destroyed by traps. Attack over this.
Yeah.
Then we end our turn. You summon a monster, tribute for your Baseball King, and then weaken my attack and I die. In fact, you don't even need to weaken my attack, do you? You just need any... Oh, 2200 attacker does it. Yeah, there we go.
Go for the rising.
Oh, my poor DeGrace. Alright, well, that's fine. We got game 3 still. Alright, I will go first. Let's see what we're working with here. This is a tricky one. Actually, I think we're just going to set, and then tribute 2 to set.
Okay.
Then
25 blood.
I guess I'll set this as well and pass back.
Well... Sunset. Battle of the Walls.
Although I don't think my wall will be lasting too long. Oh, so I have a potential play that also might just do nothing.
Okay.
So the question becomes, do we take the safe option that we know works, or do we gamble? Tempted to gamble. We'll flip summon Lure, the Sky Savior Angel. Are we using her effect is the next question. I think we activate this first. Sky Savior Witnesses. So I will reveal 2 cards from hand. Then excavate the top 5. Okay. So of these, probably... This is where things get a little bit tricky. I think Freya is probably the best pickup here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Next up, I guess we fire off Lure. So reveal Soldier Spear. Grab Fusion back. So now, I guess we just summon out Celia, fire off Fusion, fuse these 2 together. I guess I'm putting this in... Oh, it feels weird, but I think defense mode might be the play here. Then we'll set... I guess we'll summon this. Activate the effect of Soliel. Reveal Supreme Soldier Spear. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we definitely want them in this order. Then we can activate Solcier to pop your back row. Now I'm locked into attacking with level 9 and higher monsters only, so I think I'm just going to pass the turn on that.
Okay. I'm going to pass the turn.
Wait for me to pop your guys, are you? What are we doing with this? Alright, we'll flip summon Yami Ruler here for shortsies.
Okay.
There's no reason to do anything with Solcier. If we put it into attack mode, you could just run over it. I suppose you potentially run over it anyway. All you need is basically any equip spell. Well, but then again, you'd need a legend and the correct field spell, so it's not just any. I don't really want all these cards in my hand, but at the same time, I can't really get them out of my hand particularly easily, so I think we'll just go straight to battle and just swing into one. Then we'll pass the turn. Alright, let's just get stuff moving, shall we? I don't really want to use that. So I think we'll go to battle phase there. We will attack. And attack. And then we'll pass.
I will set this and this.
Okay, so what do we do here? I guess we'll normal summon Soliel, use the effect, reveal Kimi Luna. They will all disappear to the ether. Guess that. Then we will tribute 2. Oh, are we tributing 2? Well, I guess we have to now. We've locked it in. To summon Kimi Luna. Activate Kimi Luna. Change both of these battle positions. And then change myself to defense. Then we will activate Sky Savior Prayer, discarding a Supreme Soldier Spear to bring back Light Flash.
Nice.
Guess we just go to battle phase now. We will attack over Go Umpire, and then attack over Cha-Cha-Cha-Cha, and pass.
Let this tribute for Guildford the Legend.
Okay, so big boy.
Set this and set this.
I guess you kind of have to get rid of Kimi Luna.
Yeah, otherwise you're just gonna
Change it
swap
to
into
defense.
defense. Yeah.
If I could do that, what does that get me? Gets me that plus that. Which ain't stellar, let's be honest. Alright, we'll normal summon Soliel, activate the effect. We will reveal Soldier Spear. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll put these in this order. Next, I guess we will activate the effect of Saucier. Pop this back and pop on your back rows. Not the best back row I could have hit, I feel.
Depends if you got any back row to put down.
Yeah, I suppose. So we have that as an option, which means I could do this, which is not the best. Or I could do that, which is also not the best. So I guess we have to change this to defense and then just go to battle. We will just swing in and pass back.
Okay. Yeah, I can use my legend.
Oh, don't do that.
And I can use his effect.
Well, there goes
Like
the
your
board.
board. Set. Normal summon.
Okay, so that's 33. Ugh. Okay. It's not ideal. That eventually gives me options. So 2800 attack is the new benchmark to hit. Alright, we will start with Monster Reborn.
Ooh.
I think we're bringing back Soldier Spear. Then we're going to summon out Celia. Activate the effect, revealing 5 monsters from my extra deck to weaken one of your guys by 1000 attack.
Yup.
Then we will summon out Lure and activate Fusion, combining the two to make Altiera the Sky Savior Transients, which is your opponent cannot activate normal spell cards except for Fusion. Then we go to battle. We attack into your Guildford. And then we attack into Zubabar. And pass the turn. Ooh, Guildford.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't boost him over your dude because I can't activate anything other than fusion.
Well, normal spell cards. You can use equip spells and field spells.
Oh.
The problem is, do you have a face down equip spell?
I don't.
your slots are filled slightly there. I have that as an option. Alternatively, we have that. We also have this. There's no good way for me to get out a third monster that actually does anything. If I use this, I can do some nice damage, but that's about it. Right, we will... Oh, that's the other problem, is your bloody back row could really trip me out. Right, we're going to normal summon Sokori. We're going to tribute 2 and summon out another Supreme Soldier Spear. They're going to activate Sword Skill Ruler's Slash, which will let me boost this guy's attack and pop one of your back row. Then I think I have to set this. Go to battle, attack over Guildford. And then I've locked myself into attacking with just that one monster, so we passed the turn. I think that's the best way I had to play around a combat trick.
Catcher.
Okay.
Plate pitch.
Oh, that's actually really big.
Activate his effect. And shuffle back in. There's no Zubaba.
Okie dokie. Oh, God, he has so much attack.
Go to battle.
You were 400 life points off just killing me there. Because you would have got the extra effect and made me lose 3,000 attack.
Yeah. Which of these is going to be the more impactful? I think you.
Oh, you're telegraphing that you might have something in the back row there. Okie dokie, what are we doing with this hand? See, this is where things get a bit complicated, because you've destroyed Soldier Spear, which tells me you probably have Sakuretsu armor back there, but that's not going to be the only thing you've got there. There might also be Sakuretsu Force or your, I can't remember, sword technique thing, which weakens me and pops a spell trap. Which means I need to try and play around all of those things. So I need to get something that's got, like, ideally over 3,000 attack, as well as stop you from destroying my cards with effects, which would mean summoning either another Supreme Soldier Spear or summoning my fusion monster, Druckmore. Both of which seem quite difficult to do. If I manage to get out Druckmore, he dies to combat tricks. Alternatively, I could just go 1-2, summon this. Is that my best option? It's really boring, though. This card doesn't do anything right now. If I use this, do that, I still have options with that. Alright, let's have fun. Let's not play the boring safe thing. We're going to take trade in. We're going to get rid of the card that would have effectively outed you in Kime Luna.
Okay.
So I will normal summon Dunkus. Normal summon Lure. Activate Fusion. Combine the two into Druckmore. Then we summon out Celia, who can weaken your guy, which I think is going to be enough for me to play around everything. Go to battle. We will attack.
Yep. It's not going to weaken enough.
Oh.
And you can't be destroyed by effects. Damn it. Oh well.
Yeah, I think Druckmore might be the card that makes this deck good, right? Because, again, theoretically, you should be able to just keep getting out fusion monsters. That's kind of what the deck's supposed to do. I mean, as we saw, sometimes it was a little bit rough, like, to actually access fusion or have two materials, but whenever it did go off, Druckmore comes out, and he specifically, like, counters all of the really, really strong legend cards, right? Like, he would stop Guildford if Guildford was out. If you summoned him while he was out. He stops Darkhold, he stops Torrential Tribute, he stops Mirror Force, like, just all of these really, really impactful cards. Obviously against you, it's primarily using against your Sakuretsu armor, but it completely shut it down, right? So it's just completely bonkers that it could do that. But the other thing is, because Supreme Soldier Spear also works for Celestial Warriors, even if you don't get out Druckmore, you can get out the other ones and still have a level of protection. Obviously it's not as good because you could still just get, like, Darkhold or something. But still, all of these destruction protection effects feel like they are getting more commonplace, and the ability to stop your opponent using traps. Like I remember a few weeks ago, you brought one of your dragon decks, and you had, I can't remember what the card was called, but one of your dragons stops traps from being activated or protects your guys from being destroyed by traps. Is it Sturdy Strike or something? I don't remember. But,
Metagears.
Yeah, Metagears, that's the one. Yeah, so I think stuff like that is going to be more prevalent. But it was cool to see what this deck could do, right? Like, I felt like this deck was kind of consistent. Like, there were obviously a few occasions where not a lot was going on. But when the pieces got moving, they got moving a lot. Like Celia as well has this really bonkers effect to just weaken monsters, which is really good. Like, it's really good. Like, when I first looked at this card, I was like, oh, you know, it weakens like by 1,000, so it can attack over like a 2,000 attacker or something. But no, you slap it down, weaken something by 1,000, and then just anything else can get over it, and that is just ridiculous. Like the other one, Dunkus, boosting his own attack, I feel is a lot weaker because he only gets himself up to 23. He can't attack directly the turn he does it. So if that 23 isn't enough to get over what your opponent's got, it's basically not doing anything. But like I said before, I think Dunkus it goes into the better fusions. I mean, we have two of them on the board right now, right? Druckmore is a Dunkus fusion, and Altaria it's annoying, right? It's kind of just like this weird floodgate effect, but I don't think it's better than Druckmore. I don't know. Obviously, you were the one playing under it. Like, did you feel like not being able to activate normal spell cards was like really, really impactful, or was it just kind of a little bit annoying?
A little bit annoying. Depends. Like at the end there, I had the normal spell that keeps my monsters from being destroyed by trap cards, but he didn't have any trap cards, so it didn't really do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think this deck was playing just the Torrential Tribute as like my only trap card, because again, when you're playing fusion decks, we've spoken about this before, but spell and trap, like real estate in your deck is so strict. And when you're playing like all these extra consistency cards and the fusion cards and the cards to facilitate getting the fusion off, you just don't have any slots left. So like I got room for one trap card, and even then I'm like, oh, I could do with taking Torrential Tribute out. Oh, but yeah, your deck seemed really, really cool. I really like all of the new Guildford cards. Guildford, the Lightning, obviously very impactful there. I set up a very powerful board, and you just immediately clapped out the way and then hit me for over 4,000 damage all at once. Which I think it's another board wipe as well, except it's a board wipe on legs, but maybe those legs are a little bit too costly. Like having to sacrifice 3 monsters is quite the investment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, being able to blow up your opponent's entire board and then keep your 2800, because I guess the parallel to it would be Dark Lord Zerato. His whole thing though is that he can come out with only 1 tribute as long as the monster you tribute's a dark type, but you have to give him up at the end of the turn. So I guess the caveat is for 2 extra tributes you get to keep the 2800 attacker, which is probably, I don't know what I think's better, probably leaning to a little bit towards Dark Lord Zerato, just because being able to do more with less is usually more impactful, and you could try and just finish the game easier with Zerato, because if you're ending the game, it doesn't matter that it gets destroyed at the end of the turn. As for your other Guildford cards, Legend, I think, is a really cool card. The only problem with it is obviously you need to run a lot of equip spells for him to do anything, but just being a 2600 attack is really, really cool, and that's really, really important. I mean, you can happily slap that down and say, you cannot out this without an effect or a spell card or a trap card to boost your guy. Like, there's just nothing that beats it. Like, a fusion, obviously, a maximum. If you had an effect like Seven's Road Magician, which can boost over it, but then you need one of those effects to boost. So, like,
yeah, absolutely.
With my deck, I basically need fusions, or I need to be able to, like, weaken you with Celia or something. So, like, it's going to be really, really cool and really, really impactful, I feel. And then the other card was what? The Guildford the Rising, who can attack monsters 3 times. I don't think we got to see too much of him, and I don't think we got to see his effect at all, because it's one of those things where when it does go off, it's going to feel really, really impactful. And when it doesn't go off, obviously, he's just kind of a beater. What is he, 2500 attacker?
Yeah, he's 25, 22.
Well, yeah, 22 is not bad defense either, really. But yeah, that was a...
And he slotted in quite well with the Spirit Stadium.
because he gets a boost from the fire stadium. Yeah, that's actually a good shout. I mean, I think it was a very good shout playing them with the baseball stuff, because the baseball stuff I feel still is strong, right? Obviously, I don't think it's just because it hasn't had a lot of support. It's obviously going to be weaker than it was, because when it came out, there weren't as many other strong decks. But I feel like baseball deck still has legs to stand on. It can still fight. It can still keep up in a lot of ways. But yeah, thanks for the game, buddy. GG.
GG.